Ladies and gentlemen, I like Magic the Gathering. It's not even a thing that I could hide anymore. I love Magic the Gathering. I've got 2 deck boxes in front of me as we speak. Today I want to talk about my deck building ideology, philosophy, and break down how I do it. We can do a full guide in another video, but I wanted to just broach the idea that I do Magic the Gathering on here, so I hope that's okay. I build my decks in a very weird way. I used to use Moxfield. I used to use the likes of those kinds of EDH Rec, the pipeline, the whole nine, where you go from using EDH Rec to like Moxfield or another associated platform where you're like putting all your decks in there and all that kind of stuff to like something else then afterwards. And I'm in that something else afterwards. I was put onto this method of deck building by the Base Deck Department, who is a content creator from Australia. This is their channel. We will come back to it, but just wanted to put it out there that they are the one I got this idea from. Now, I used to be the kind of person, I believe there's like 2 kind of ways in which people build decks. They either find cards and put them in a list, like find every card that applies and they put it in a list, and then they break it down. They go, okay, let me go through all these cards and sort them into the categories and see which one I want to use. Or you go and you go, right, I'm going to just find some cards for this category, and then they go into my deck, and then this category, and they go into my deck, and then this category, and they go into my deck. I'm very much the former. I get every card possible, I put it into a list, like into a deck list, and then I go through from there. I found that led to some very inconsistent decks that I was building. Since moving over to some standard gameplay as well, I've learned a lot more about Mana Curve. But what I want to take you through, guys, today is my method of building a deck using Microsoft Excel or any other spreadsheet software. I have a friend also who uses a notepad for their deck lists. I don't do that, but I do use Microsoft Excel to build my decks, and it is an idea that I got from the Base Deck Department. So we're going to be throwing my hat into the ring. Speaking of my hat, here it is. This will do nicely. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a video on the 33 card commander deck as popularized by the Base Deck Department. Please go check them out. It is this video here. It is an incredible video which taught me so much about deck building and is now what I use. Please allow me to explain basically how this deck idea works. I don't want to steal their video, but I do want to kind of, shout out what I can, where I can. So, the idea behind this deck is that you use a 3-stage building process. And I know I've got some things on the screen here, so don't worry too much about that. I'm using Canva. We're learning. Okay, don't worry about it. Basically, you will build a commander deck, so you'll have your commander, and you will build 33 cards into that version of the deck. The idea behind this is that you test the deck at every 33 card interval to see how it feels and how it plays. This is the principle of the 33 card commander deck as popularized by Base Deck Department. Shout out to them again. Can't do that enough. So what you do is you break down all the cards that you want to include. So those will be the core requirements, things like land count, your removal, your card advantage, your mana acceleration. Your optional requirements, like your themes or your sub-themes. So for instance, one of your themes could be Blink, another theme could be life gain, and a sub-theme could be the ETB or LTB. And you could decide how much you want to build into any one of these strategies. I hope I haven't lost you. This is just normal deck building stuff. You choose your theme you want to do, you maybe choose your commander around that, and you go, right, let's try and make a deck which has this theme as a prominent feature of the deck. And let's find the removal for this kind of theme. Let's find the card advantage that can work with this kind of theme, the mana acceleration. The mana acceleration of a deck that focuses on ETBs could be vastly different from one that focuses on instances or sorceries. Depends on what your deck needs. Same thing goes for card advantage. Colors will also determine this. But how does this look? I've just described a very normal process of building a deck to you. What actually happens here is I will take this information with the 33 card commander deck and I will break it down into a full list of these things. But they were broken down in such a way that everything that I can possibly think of that I think is relevant is accounted for. So it's not just land count, removal, card advantage, mana acceleration. It's land count, card advantage is probably one of the most important things, or card draw, cantrips, mana acceleration. Removal is broken down into all the types of removal that I think are relevant, which is hand, creature, artifact, enchantment, graveyard, and then that's board wipes as well. So it's an interesting thing. I will show you that in a second. The 33 card commander deck is it uses this to build it into 3 different stages. So again, you build a 33 card version of this deck, which is very scarce. I will say it's very bare bones, but it really teaches you if you can win with 33 cards. And that's a really important thing, because if you can't, there's a problem. And then you use that and you go from 33 to 66 to 99. And at each stage, the deck should feel pretty good to play because of how concise or how you've allocated things. What that actually ends up looking like is this. The really important things while doing this. First of all, you're going to want to choose how you want to win. This is the most important thing about this strategy. If your 33 card version of your deck doesn't feel good, it probably means you haven't got the win condition that you need to push things. That could be an overrun effect, could be a big spell, could be anything. You need a win condition. But we'll come back to that in a second. The 2 things here, the how I want to win and what I want to do, we'll do that in a second. This is what my actual Excel spreadsheet looks like. It looks like this. And essentially, what I've done is I've broken everything down. So you've got lands, card draw, mana acceleration. You've got removal in stacks. Any removal. So that's like non-land permanents. Hand, creature, artifact, enchantment, land, graveyard hate, graveyard protection. We've got another category then for board wipes, overrun effects, or unblockable effects. Win conditions, alternate win conditions, tutors, counter spells, protection spells, recursion, reanimation, sustain. It's a lot. And you're not going to put a card in each one of these slots. But this is how I build my decks. I use Excel as a data spreadsheet, if you will. And I will go through after choosing my theme, which is all the way down at the bottom, by the way. Theme is the least important thing because your theme should be throughout. You shouldn't need to dedicate slots to the theme, in my opinion, unless they're really good slots. In my opinion, and this may be controversial, your card draw should be your theme. Your removal should be your theme. Your win con should definitely be your theme. Your counter spells could be your theme. Your protection spells should be your theme. Like all of this kind of stuff. That's just my opinion. But I'll show you an example of that later on if we can. The idea then behind this is I take all those ideas, I Scryfall search all of this, so I'll look for the color identity, the, format. I will say, okay, we're looking for card draw. We're going to look for things with the Oracle tag for card draw. We're going to see, okay, well, let's say we're doing a Spellslinger theme. Okay, do I want to make that card draw more cantripy? Like, we're going to narrow down our search as much as possible, and we're going to put every answer that applies into our Excel spreadsheet, just filling everything across here. And then we will break things down later as we choose to build the 33 card deck. This is how I build my decks. It's a little insane. It does work really well, though. So, let's go back over to this. This is how it looks. But this is the most important thing about it. Is when I'm choosing these cards, I need to ask them, are they going to support my method of winning? Or are they the thing that will allow me to win? And 2, do they fit into what I want to do on turns 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plus? Because generally speaking, this will be a breakdown that supports, I don't know, the structure of how you will go about your turns. If you can have a play on each turn that isn't Soul Ring turn 1 into Arcane Signet, or another associated thing, and you can have that be part of your theme, incredible. Like, I think that's a really challenging thing for a lot of decks to do. I know I certainly was guilty of not having anything to do until like turn 4 or turn 3. So, really, really proud of this idea, first and foremost. When you're doing this, as I've alluded to over here, you choose what your method of winning is. So, that could be an overrun effect, that could be the Crackle with Power, whatever it is. What you want to do on turns 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The way I put 7 plus is because at that point you should have a lot of mana. You want to have enough lands that you don't miss land drops. You want to have enough card draw that you don't miss land drops. Those are more important than mana acceleration. And I will say that again. Having enough lands and having enough card draw is more important than mana acceleration. If you're not accelerating towards something, you're just wasting gas. I'll say that again. If you're not accelerating towards something, you're wasting gas. Also, I run 43 lands. Guess this is how the video is going to be now, isn't it? Run at least 40 lands. I know you guys have... The hypergeometric calculator says it's... Listen. Statistically speaking, you're not likely to hit your land drops if you don't have... Well, 43 should be the average, but it is not. So, pump those lands up. That's not even a dedicated land deck. Like, if you want a dedicated land deck, or something that has, like, lands as a central focus, that needs to be way higher. And I will say that my games have gotten way better since I realized mana acceleration is overrated, card draw is king, and you should most definitely be running 43 lands. We'll discuss that in another video. So, what that actually ends up looking like is something like this. You take the sum of all of these, which is down here. So, for instance, in my 33 card deck, I will start with 14 lands. That's my baseline. Let's say I have 3 card draw sources. I have 4 removal sources split over any number of these things. I'll have 1 board wipe. I'll have 1 definitive win condition. I may have 2 counter spells. I may have a piece of sustain. Like, these are arbitrary, you know? Maybe I have 2 sources of mana acceleration as well. And you'll see we're already at 28 sources here. We are already... Let's increase the size of this for you guys. We're already at 28 slots out of our 33. What's our 34th is our commander, so that factors in. But this is how I build my decks. So imagine this. You have gone and you've taken all of the Scryfall searches. You've put a massive list of cards. So I usually, for each deck, I will have 2 of these. I will have one that is just like this, with a full list of cards. We'll have in card draw, we'll have, like, Archmage Emeritus. We'll have Pull from Tomorrow. You know, stuff like that. And then we'll have another one, which is the 30 card list, where I go, okay, I want to dedicate 3 slots to card draw in this 33 card version. What are those slots going to be? And then I choose those slots, and I choose them based on if they'll do what I want to do in turns 1 to 2, 3 to 4, 5 to 6, 7 plus. Okay, that's what I have to weigh up. And then you do that 2 more times, and then you get to a full 99. Now, the interesting thing about this is you can make this as interesting or bland as you want. You could just replicate the same numbers each time. So let's say that we get, let's just do 4 more of our theme cards. And you may think, that's not a lot of theme cards. You're right. Remember, your theme should be elsewhere. And we have 1 tutor, because tutors are great. You then will go, okay, sweet, I have now got... I've then listed what these cards are going to be. Awesome. We then do the exact same thing again. So we go and we copy all of that and we go, right, okay, how many lands do we want this time? We're going to put in 15 lands this time, because in order to hit 43 lands, I think you have to go 14, 15, 14. And that's great. Okay, awesome. What do we need to get from here? Well, my commander can provide this. Maybe my commander provides card draw, so I don't need to put 4 sources of card draw here, you know? And so this is where things can get as complicated or as simple as you'd like. You can literally just copy everything below lands. You can copy all of this again, put the same numbers, same ratios, and you will just see that same kind of effect. Or you can become really nuanced here, and you can just say, okay, well, I want to... I'm not really looking to board wipe that often, so maybe I don't put a board wipe in here. Maybe I add another win con. Maybe I swap out a counter spell for a protection source, like a dedicated protection source. Or maybe I swap sustain for some reanimation or recursion. Like that's... And maybe that then looks like this. So we keep this the same. We say, okay, we don't want a board wipe. We do want another win condition. We want another tutor. We'll drop a counter spell for 2 sources of protection, and then and then let's put in 1 source of recursion, 1 source of reanimation, and then we have 2 theme cards. You know, 2 dedicated theme cards. This is how it looks like, and then you replicate it 1 more time. So you do this all over again. You go once more onto the breach, and then you have your full commander deck. I know this was a longer video. Sorry, it's my first time. It's my first time. This is how I build my commander decks. If you'd like an example, actually, of how... Basically, what this ends up looking like for an example for me, I'll see if I can put an example of it on screen, of what my... Yeah, actually, I will put an example on screen of what my deck will actually look like when this is done. When I have all of the cards, and I even will put a bell curve down here. So what this will end up looking like for me is I will put in each of these slots, not just the mana value of the card, but the theoretical mana that I could cast it. So for instance, if we take Scryfall here, and we take something like a 3 Steps Ahead. 3 Steps Ahead is a 1 mana spell. Therefore, when it is put into the mana curve, it will always be put at 1 mana. But instead of that, this is a 3 mana counterspell. So I would take 3 Steps Ahead, and I'm looking to probably use it as a counterspell. So I would put it in the counterspell, in the mana value 3 category. I will also, if I have relevant targets for creating a creature token or an artifact token, I will also put it in the mana value 6 category, because there's a chance that I may want to counterspell and create a copy. Okay, there's also a chance I may want to draw 2 cards and discard a card. Well, that's still mana value 3, but that's also potentially mana value 5 if I choose to do any 2 of the others. So that means 3 Steps Ahead goes in mana value 5 as well. That also means it can be as well in mana value 7. Is that 7? 6? No, 8, sorry. In mana value 8. So it means it can go here as well. Now, yes, you will not use these cards in every one of these scenarios, but it plots a really accurate bell curve of where the hell those cards are actually going to be. It's just for my own amusement. You can even color code it by if it's permanence or not, but anyway. We have gone over enough in this video. That's how I build my commander decks. I decide, hey, what is the theme first and foremost? How am I going to integrate it into each of these subcategories that I already have in my Excel document? Awesome. I'm going to then go Scryfall search, dump all of these cards into an Excel spreadsheet. Then I'm going to create a new spreadsheet. I'm going to go, right, for my 33 card version, how many of these cards do I want? Amazing. How does it feel? Then I'm going to do the same for 66, then the same for 99, all while adhering to these things. How do I want to win, and what do I want to do? That's how I play these decks. It works. It just works. So I'd encourage you, give it a try. I'm really passionate about this, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Stay well, stay safe. Please look after yourself. And happy Magic the Gathering. Also, buy singles from a guy who does not buy singles. Buy singles, please. Please buy singles. Have an amazing day. I hope you know that the world is a better place with you in it. Stay well, stay safe, look after yourself, and goodbye. That's my hat in the ring.